What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid, more specifically their upcoming Q4 earnings and why it is absolutely detrimental they hit a home run. So I'm going to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, when it comes down to their upcoming earnings slated for the 25th after hours, negative 27 cents for the earnings per share is the forecast. 206.3 million in revenue over the last 90 days, 5 positive and 1 negative revisions to the earnings per share. So I think in general there's a lot of optimism for surrounding Lucid, and you can kind of tell that as well just based on shorts. So ever since the beginning of time, shorts have been around Lucid. Short interest at the time back in 2021 Q4 was around 8.95. Kind of peaked in April, looks like around 32.21%, so April 2024. Since then, they've actually been returning. So kind of showing more of a confidence that the underlying stock price is going to move higher and that operationally they're improving. So 18.88% of the free float is being shorted. So still, given everything, I think that is rather high, but I think they are still lingering because of uncertainties. So this upcoming earnings, I've already done a couple of videos on how the market's going to see it as a success and whatever else. I think this earnings, the market's going to still care about the earnings per share and revenue a little bit more than previous earnings. I think in the past, Wall Street's given them a pass and not necessarily cared all that much. They just gave more attention to future guidance. So I think this time around, people are going to be paying attention to the actual numbers. But over and above that, though, I think the actual upcoming guidance is going to be detrimental. So what I mean by that is Lucid is burning through a lot of cash. I don't think even bulls and bears, we can all agree on that, because based on their last earnings, just looking over here, they had roughly around 1.89 billion in cash equivalents. And I've already, ever since the, again, beginning of time, I've always called out 𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗛 and now Gagnon. Lucid doesn't know how to forecast financials accordingly. So last earnings, Peter did state that this supposedly is sufficient amount of cash well into 2026. I completely disagree, only because if you look at how much they're burning through, 462.8, rounding up to 463 million, that's giving basically up until the end of 2025. No company ever waits up until the end, so it's going to be a little bit sooner. So most likely Q2/Q3, there's going to be more dilution, and even more so for Q4 upcoming. I feel like the cash from operations are going to be burning roughly around 530 to around 545 million. So quite a lot, and a lot of that is attributed to just AMP2 expansion and also Gravity. But aside from that, this is why this upcoming earnings is key and potentially will be either a deterrent for shorts to just slowly continue throughout 2025 to return, or give them the green light to really double down and start hitting Lucid even harder. Because based on Lucid, what they give for guidance, and I've already done a couple of videos on what Wall Street's going to see as a success or not, they need to produce and actually starting to execute on their operations. If not, if they don't kind of fulfill and somewhat offset some of their cash burn, then regrettably the stock price is going to go down, right? Because it's very basic formula. Outstanding share count goes higher, market cap stays the same and fixed, then the share price goes down. Very basic formula, right? So ultimately they need to get their crap together, and this upcoming earnings is going to be that path. Whether they go down the Ferrari route, so kind of higher quality stuff, low production, or if they want to go the Tesla route. Peter has stated that he wants to ramp up as much as he can as there is demand. So I think Lucid wants to be like a hybrid between a Ferrari and a Tesla, more oriented towards Tesla, of course, because that's why they're doing the midsize late 2026 to significantly ramp up. But needless to say, this upcoming earnings is going to be absolutely detrimental. And even more so, a lot of people seem to be not really thinking about this, but in 2026, September 2026, this 1.7, which they did add another 262 million, so $2 billion convertible senior note is coming due. So this is going to be payable through dilution already over and above the current dilution that's going to be happening operationally. So in reality, like I said, I think when it comes down to targets, this earnings is going to be that path in the sand, whether Lucid just stays stagnant, if not trends down slowly over the next couple of years, or if it finally does break out and it really just starts to deter shorts from getting off their back and stuff like that. So like I said, I feel like when it comes down to this earnings, it's and I don't want to stress this enough, like their earnings is key. So I know I've stated this many times and I kind of say, hey, this is very important, but when it comes down to the questions that retail poses, that is opening on February 11th 2025, you need to ask good concrete questions. Please do not ask about profitability. They are not going to be profitable up until, let's say, 2027, possibly even 2028. Peter's outright said that. So do not talk about profitability. I feel like we just spend so much wasted questions on those types of things when it's unnecessary. So like I said, I think this upcoming earnings is fairly good. You can kind of tell that shorts are actually optimistic by them returning from its peak in 2024. So maybe reconfirming that this upcoming earnings is going to be a good home run, but it's all going to come down to the numbers. So let me know your viewpoint on Lucid. Do you think that this upcoming earnings, the Q4, is going to be a success, or do you think it's going to be a negative? And what is your just general thoughts on, I know I've kind of asked this in the past, but targets. What do you think the bare minimum needs to be? So yeah, let me know your viewpoint on all that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And obviously the market is closed and all the other fun jazz, so I'm not going to give you updates on any of that. So hopefully everyone's having a good day off. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, so definitely worthwhile to pop over and take a look. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.